be ready, steady aim at the target. I'm flooding the market, a break from the garbage. An artist, sensitive about mind pardon. No margin for error, flawless be rarer. The black cat goddess, you walking with a panther. Painting these pictures with words like Samantha.
Hey, it's your girl, Madam Money, aka Trap. Welcome to this week's edition of Salt in the Game. Make sure you hit that like button. Make sure you hit that subscribe button. And let's get it. Now, before I get into this week's album reviews, I do want to send my condolences to the friends, family, and friends of former Roots group member Malik B. He passed away this week suddenly and unexpectedly. He is such a formidable rapper. He's somebody who, if you have any knowledge about what the Roots were doing over there, he's somebody who brought the most cadences to the group and you know, backed that up with some of the most grittiest rhymes. He left the group after the 1990 release of their most like classic album, Things Fall Apart. Since then, he had a couple of solo work that he had did. But this comes as a surprise to all of us, especially because we do not know the conditions around his passing. Black Thought was supposed to release Streams of Thought 3 this week. He decided to push the album back in remembrance of his good friend, which I totally understand that. How could you celebrate album release after the passing of somebody who was so influential in Black Thought's life? He actually took to Twitter and IG and said that he always felt as if he only possessed a mere fraction of the true gift and talent that Malik B brought to the table. So I know he is taken back by this and trying to take everything in stride. So I just want to tell everybody out there that respected him, loved, and knew him. You know, make sure y'all keep your head up. And if you wasn't really familiar with his work, then now is an opportunity to please go back and check for Malik B. Like I said, he has some of the strongest lyrics. In addition to cadences, he is somebody who really has his own cadences and draws cadences out of the clear blue sky that, you know, are really refreshing and that you might not have heard of before. So, salute. You know, everybody hold their head up. You feel me? Us in the hip-hop community, we are taking loss after loss in 2020. It's not fair, but it is what it is. So let's move right along. Now, I know last week I did the album reviews in little sections. I did these little drops and stuff. I really do like that format. But this week I felt with the albums that had been released that I needed to do a full show. So you feel me? Here we are. Make sure you stick with it. Make sure you stay with it too. I do want to shout out everybody who has noticed my departure from Twitter yet again. Thank y'all for reaching out and you know, asking about me and seeing what's going on. That's why it's very imperative to actually subscribe to the channel. Once you do, it takes only 2 seconds to do that because you don't know, I get in a whole bunch of shit. So as the minute a whole lot of things kick off, I might do a little too much or do something that, you know, people start respecting and stand behind. This will always happen to me is because I have all the haters in the world, but I'm a hater. I understand the world of hate, so it's all good. Now, this week's album releases, it's only a couple that came out, and I'm gonna tell you right now, out of the ones that came out, there's only about 2 that I really appreciate, but we're gonna get into all of that. First up is E40's The Curb Commentator Channel 2. Now, I told y'all at the beginning of this year when he dropped Channel 1 that I did not like the project. I felt that the beats were much better than what he was bringing to the table, and this project here is no different. Let me explain something to you. E40, you're not gonna back me down. I'm not afraid of you. I don't think that you're gonna invite me to host a show and have people throw quarters at me when I get there, you know, and then try to set me up in the parking lot just because I say I don't like your albums. But if you with it, I'm with it too. All right. This album starts off with a track called The Fuck Is Still Pending. You know, it's crazy when it comes down to E40. I left this project, and I'm gonna get into other couple tracks on here, but I left this project trying to figure out why do we have such admiration for E40. Now, I know he has a bunch of classic works, classic albums. He has a bunch of classic tracks. He's known to make club bangers. He has some strong features with people, and he always brings his own thing to the table. But I don't think that you know, E40 should still be out here putting out work. Now, the only positive I can say here is that I do appreciate him coming from the, you know, the viewpoint of being a commentator and speaking heavily about, you know, everything that's going on and all the hoods across America right now, and us dealing with the conditions of the community and the conditions of the community that have been placed upon us right now. So I do respect anytime any rapper, you know, young or old, comes to the table and has a voice or tries to bring some attention to actually what is going on here. But dog, I don't know if I could really rock with too many more of these. I don't know if you're gonna try to come out with this, like, you feel me, every couple months and be placing this type of music out in this into the air. But you know, like I said, the beats is dope on here. The second track on here, Guap, dog, I cannot do it. I can't sit through that. I can't sit through it. That's the problem. I can't sit through it. Now, Big Crit is also on this album on a track called Black is Beautiful. That's one of the most more like, you know, powerful tracks that, you know, they're trying to, you know, be power based in the track. Big Crit don't ever disappoint. But it just made me notice how much I dislike E40 on this album even more when he has, you know, these features attached to his work. Also, I noticed that on the track called Slices with a cat called Stressmatic. I don't know if I'm pronouncing, or Seismatic. I don't know if I'm pronouncing it right. I apologize there. But on this track, this is a track where E40 is actually trying to be trying to make himself relevant with terminology. And what I mean by that, because E40 is somebody who always he had a problem with a couple of people coming out and saying, like, you know, they use the word broccoli. He's the one who used the word broccoli first in comparison to blowing bud or whatever have you. And he came out and was very vocal about it once, you know, Party Next Door had his track at Kodak had his track speaking about broccoli or whatever, where both of them trying to put their namesake on coming up with the hip-hop terminology broccoli. So I respect when he stands up, and he was truthful in that matter. He actually did, you know, craft that word first on wax in concern to, you know, I mean, blowing down. But you feel me, this track called Slices, he's trying to do the same thing. He's trying to put a terminology in there saying that slices mean, you know, money. Like, you know, slices of bread, we call money bread. So you talk about slices, you talk about money or whatever have you. This track is so crazy to me because your man's is really out here giving the hood the most irrelevant mathematics that I ever heard. Now, it's like, it's little street math in there. You feel me? If anybody knows, you know. But, like, overall, it's like so much irrelevant bullshit ass mathematics that you're trying to tell us on this track. I really don't understand. And I don't really understand how that has any variance with the word like slices, while you're coming up with all of this fucking bullshit hood numerology and shit like that. Like, you feel me? You know, when niggas come and try to break down some work, if you trying to put somebody on and teach somebody something like that, like, do that. Or if you trying to use real mathematics, like, you know, something like the 5% is doing God bodies do, use real mathematics. Don't be coming across to us trying to tell us how many gallons of water we use when we take a shower and how many beers is in a keg of beer. Nobody ain't trying to hear that shit. A track I did enjoy on here was the last track because it was meant that this project was going off, but it was called Born in It. He makes reference to him being in the game so long and, you know, having 5 decades in. And I'm like, first, like you did all this mathematics on this first fucking album, and now you trying to say that you've been in the hip hop for 50 years when 50 years hip hop hasn't even exist, but for 30, so I don't really know what's going on there. And it just led me to think again, like, based off of what do we hold him in this high regard? Is it just strictly off of respect, or, you know, what is that go-to E40 project that makes him substantial in the game? And that's no hate, that's no shade, none of that shit. I just really want to know, you know, being somebody that does listen to music across region, I know that his style is something that was so different as opposed to everything that was going on that it made him stand out style wise. But can you quote E40? Does he have one of these standout tracks, except for like, Tell Me When to Go or Ghost Ride the Whip or whatever? You feel me? Like I said, he's more of a influencer in hip hop, and it doesn't really come from the music. So I just wanted to get that out the way real quick. E40, fucking come see me if you want to see me. You feel me? I don't know, man. I enjoy your wine more than I enjoy any of these lyrics that you've been putting out as of recently. But you know what I mean? I could be wrong. I do want the people to know. Let me know. Like, let me know what I should go to really, really sit here and be like, this is why everybody deals with E40. He's been around so long, and I can't even pull one fucking project out of the clear blue sky like you could do a Scarface or one of these people. So, you know what I mean? Just let me know. Don't be East Coast, West Coast biased. Don't be biased either. Let me know for real, for real. I'm not trying to hear none of that shit. All right. A project that was released and caught me by surprise. I didn't even know it was coming out. And I enjoyed it, was Eto Brigante. Now, let me tell you something about Eto. This is Eto's third album of 2020, where he's showing his rap skills off, as well as his production skills. On his last project that came out called The Beauty of It, he was rapping over other people's production. He had Derringer, The Alchemist, Static Selector. I even believe DJ Green Lantern was on that album as well. Production wise, it's that was very, very refreshing to hear him spit over production that was not his own. He also had a project earlier this year, with DJ Wally Clark, called Circles. That was really dope too. That's something I hope that y'all don't forget about when it comes down to the end of the year stuff. Eto's dexterity on these two albums. So far, when it comes down to his like rapping albums, he's I'm gonna say he's 3 for 3, including this project, because I really did enjoy this project. He also, on the production end, he had 2 releases. It's both Flower City Bible 1 and 2 with Black G's came out, where he fully produced the album. And it's also, I cannot stress this enough, with Eto, what he did with the Flea Lord on the Rock America album. This is an album that came out last year that I've really, really, really enjoyed that. That's something that stays in my rotation, weekly rotation. I'm listening to this album, Rock America. Also, too, a lot of y'all not trying to give him respect or having one of the most like dopest surprise verses of the year on Ransom's Inglorious Bastards track. Like, he came on the track. He's not like credited, so you didn't know that he was going to be on there. It was really, really dope and fly to hear him on that project as well. But let's get into this. Now, Eto Brigante is, a play off of Carlito's Way. And like, Eto in this album, he breaks down the whole entire Carlito's Way. Only Eto could do Eto style. You feel me? On the first track, Alberto, I like that. It's a storytelling track. And then he says something like, see you in the pool hall and stuff like that. He says, see you in the pool hall. And the next track is called The Pool Hall Scene, where he keeps this storytelling element around. Then it's the track Training and Old Hunnits. I really did enjoy Old Hunnits. And this is it. It really made me realize that, he's using this old 80s like mafia texture on the production. So everything is giving you that vibe. It's not like a synthesized thing as like a Conway and Alchemist's Lulu, but it has its own thing going on about it. When it comes down to production, it's giving you this gritty feel. Also on the next track after that, Latin Scene or whatever, it's another storytelling track. There's a lot of storytelling tracks. And then it's a track on here, ironically called Smoke Break, where in my opinion, the album breaks away from that like 80s mafia vibe or whatever you want to have it. It actually breaks apart from that, and it gives you like some more up-to-date sounds on the beats or whatever have you. That's dope. He uses the term ass betting in his track. I'm always a fan of that. It's something that I always say, because nigga, tried and true be out here ass betting on a day-to-day basis, and it ain't even no motherfucking it ain't even no bets involved. I'll be ass betting in life, which is crazy as hell, killing yourself. So David Kleinfeld, that's another track on here, very much just story after story after story, just backing up this idea of Carlito's Way. Then it's Benny Blanco Club Scene. That's one of the dopest beats on there, in addition to Smoke Break. Like, both of those beats is really, really hard to me. You know, Don't Send Me No Champagne, we pouring out yak over here. That's the type of shit that I'm into. All that gritty shit. And then it's the track on here called Button Up. Again, gritty ass bars. Like, he says, like, you know, he turns the hospital in a cold red because he put a fire in the bed. Like, so much shit going on over there. Also said that he will punch the shit out of, you know, a sheep in wolf's clothing, which is very, 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 very dope to me. Like, you know, he does not disappoint me at no point in time through this album. It's an album that you could definitely listen to in its entirety. Then it has the ending scene skit where it's really just taken from Carlito's Way in the scene when Carlito passes away. And then it's The Last Call. He closes out this album. This was a really, really, really dope project. So salute to you, Eto. You feel me? I know it's space for you to drop something else this year, which you probably do. That's what everybody in the underground is really keeping up in the microwave era, dropping some solid projects. So salute to you on that. So it's crazy, right? Because I had work from two artists that I really like. Eto, right? I just said Rock America with Eto and Flea Lord. And Flea Lord dropped a project this week with Pete Rock, the People's Champ. Now, this is Flea Lord's like sixth project this year, right? Count them, 6. He had Alter Ego Felicio Delgado. It's his recent one that just dropped, which was like a collection of throwaways from off of the Army of Trust albums. That's what he said in the intro of that. Pray for Evil, Mandatory Respect, Lucky 13, Hand Me My Flowers. All of these albums are really, you know, quality albums where he is spitting. This is what he does. So I was really curious to see how he was going to match up with the legendary Pete Rock. You cannot deny Pete Rock's sustainability in the game. He has recently just put out 80 Blocks from Tiffany's 2. You feel me, with Camp Low. He also last year like executive produced the, you know, classic album with Sky Zoo called Retropolitan. So when you have somebody of such magnitude like Pete Rock working with you on here, you have to really, really, really respect what is going on, and you have to realize that this is probably the first time people are actually hearing about you. Now, we in the underground scene and stuff like that, we are very familiar with Flea Lord and what he brings to the table, but once you start associating legendary production and stuff like that, it's going to really, really open up your visibility in the game. So I'm not mad at this matchup, but I ain't gonna hold you. I'm not 100% sold with this album. Like, when you know an artist, you know an artist. And from the intro on this, I really felt that, all right, let's just fuck it, right? Now, when you have somebody like Flea Lord, he's known to attack tracks, especially on like the intro tracks to most albums. Either he's really, really attacking the track, or he's telling you about the album. He does neither of that one on the intro to this. He started, you know, repeating bars over and over again, not finishing the track. In my opinion, you know, that sometimes that stuff works, sometimes it doesn't work. In this particular intro, it did not work for me. And I was like, I pray to God that, you know, Flea Lord didn't burn himself the fuck out doing all these other projects this year, that when he had something like this with Pete Rock, he didn't sit and focus on. So I was really nervous from the first track listening into this. And I'm gonna tell you right now, I'm very critical of my favorite artists. Like, if I don't fucking deal with you, it's not even no reason to be critical of you, because, you know, I don't fucking deal with you. But if I deal with you at such a level, and I sit here and I vouch for you and I vouch for Flea Lord, I put people on the Flea Lord every day that I can. Now he had an opportunity where he doesn't even need anybody to make mention of this. The word is going to go around about this album. I thought that this could have been a little bit stronger. Stuck on a grip, you feel me? He was letting the beat rock a little bit, but then I said again, all right, here we go. Like, you're repeating these bars over. You're leaving too much space in these verses for my liking, when I know that you can do better for that. Surfing with an AK, that's one of my favorite beats on this album too. The piano work in there is cool. but I felt like he could have like came in a little softer on that. Like he could have came in and just wrote it a little bit, even though we still have this thing of him, repeating bars on the track or whatever. 24 Hollows was alright, different options. Then we got into track 6, Retired from the Stiffy, and I said, okay, this is what I've been waiting for right here. This is Flea Lord just spitting hard, and I'm into the track. I'm digging the track, the beat, and Pete Rock and Flea Lord was doing their thing on this track, and then it was over. This track is only a minute and 8 seconds long. It was over, so I was like, "What the? All right, now you got my interest into the album, and we on track 6 already. Now I'm interested to see where is the rest of this gonna go. All right, after that, is a track called Job Done. Again, this beat is right up his alley. This is a beat that is right up Flea Lord's alley. It starts off slow. It has a beat switch in there, which is not really a beat switch. It's a beat tempo switch, which I thought was really, really dope. And by Flea Lord saying, you know what, Rock, I'm about to kill this one. It started off real slow, and it seemed, in my opinion, it was like Pete Rock was like, you're not killing this shit enough. Let me put your ass up underneath this fire real quick and turn the tempo all the way up and sped it all the way up. And he kept up with it. So I'm really, really appreciated, but it was kind of like a push thing. Like, you wasn't attacking this hard enough in the beginning like you said you was. So now we're going to make you attack the fucking beat. Now, this is track 7. All right, on track 8, another dope beat. This is just beat after beat after beat of Flea Lord and Pete Rock working and gelling very well together. I'm not sure if they was in the studio for this project together or what was going on here. I would like to say no, because I feel like Pete Rock would have pushed Flea Lord a little bit harder on some of these lackluster verses or these empty verses. I don't want to say they lackluster because he always does his thing, but it's like just empty. It feels real empty to me and a real cop out when you leave so much space in, a verse. Like, dog, a verse is a verse. Like, you feel me? You cannot cheat the verse. You can't give us 8 to 10 bars when you're supposed to be giving us 16. It's not gonna happen like that. But Mini Mac on the Fridge, you feel me? It's cool, it's dope. And here we go again. I'm like, all right, we ended, he's spitting, and again, over 1 minute and 7 seconds long. You feel me? You can't do that type of shit. You can't tease us with some shit like that. These was almost like skit-worthy tracks. The hardest tracks on here was like skit-worthy time frame, and then hit us with mediocrity long-ass songs. It's not going to work like that. I would have rather every song been a minute and fucking 18 seconds long, and I'd be like, damn, he killed every track after every track. Yeah, I wish it was longer, but he killed every track after every track, and that shit just did not happen here. After that, it was Giving You My View. That was okay. The People Champ outro. All right. And it's crazy as hell because I want to enjoy this project more than I actually do, but it's actually the second half is where it really like heatens up at, even production wise, it really heatens up. So I don't know if Flea Lord was thinking to like let the beat shine on some of these things, because I know he can attack and he has some of the dopest bars. Like, you feel me, of all these niggas that's out here. He could bring so much to the table. So I was kind of disappointed in it, but I'm happy if y'all do make it to the halfway point of this album and it stick to y'all and y'all feeling it, y'all fuck with it. You feel me? And let me know how you really feel about that. That's one of the questions that's going to be in the description. The description is going to have all these tracks and stuff in it, but there's going to be questions. Like, you feel me? Hip hop is always class worthy, and I want to know how y'all feel about a couple of these things. So now we up to Benny the Butcher, DJ Drama, and Black Soprano Family. Black Soprano Family is Benny's little set of little niggas, you feel me, that he's trying to put on the scene. Ricky High, Love Boat, Luciano, Jonesy, Heem, it's always crazy because even though Benny has not put out a full project this year yet, he's always remaining very visible in all of this. You feel me? 2020 alone, he already had features on The Allegory, The Price of Tea in China. He was also on Lil Wayne's deluxe version of Funeral, Freddie Gibbs' Alfredo, even making his way on Russ's Shake the Globe album this year. So he's always remained very, very visible. And DJ Drama and his Gangsta Grill series, you feel me, is one of arguably one of the most extensive, you feel me, and impactful mixtape collections that is out there. You feel me? He has worked with everybody from every era and every like region across, you feel me, all our hoods. So this is something when DJ Drama actually puts his name on there, it's a level that's attached to this that you're looking for as well, especially in the Gangsta Grill series. So salute to both of them working together on this. Now, I'm gonna be real honest with you. When it comes down to like collective albums or stuff like that, when you're not really familiar with a lot of artists, it gets kind of wishy-washy for me. I won't be able to know who is who and what is what unless I seen a visual of everybody doing it, which they did. They had a visual for us over that came out and everything like that. This album starts off with Quarantine, with Benny Donnan himself, the most valuable player that walked off from the streets, basically. You feel me? And that is so true. He is like the anchor, the solid anchor in, Griselda Records and what they do over there. He just recently had an interview on Joe Budden's podcast explaining all of that, how he really got into the game, what's their real relationship with each other, and what he's trying to do moving forward. This was all right, though. I do want to say, when it's these group efforts like this, as an artist, you feel me, if you find yourself on the record with a lot of other people, you have to consistently shout yourself out. This is not something that I haven't said before, but this is something that you have to do. A couple of tracks on there is like that. I really did like, It's Over. I liked it, The Mob. I want to ask a question. On this track, Grams in the Water, who is spitting on the second verse? And I'm just going to tell you, he like, that shit really got away from him. It really got away from him. That would have been one of these dope tracks on there. But the second verse was shaky from whomever that really was on there. I'm gonna try to familiarize myself a little bit more with a couple of people coming out of Benny's camp over there at BSF, but all in all, I can't be upset at the project. It's not, not something that I think I would really go back and visit or revisit. I'm going to tell you, it was really even hard to find the album. And here's another thing, too. When you have somebody at the helm, Benny the Butcher, should be coming out underneath your name. But guess what? This was actually put out there by Entertainment One, the same people who own Hasbro and the discography for Death Row Records. So when you dig around, you can find out why these things is like this. But it's, you gotta look up Black Soprano Family to even find it. It's not even under DJ Drama's name. Like, it was really hard to find. I was like, I didn't even think that they had dropped the project. I was like, they sat here and lied to us this whole time, and then like I can't even find the work. So I did find it, but like I said, I enjoyed it. It's just a couple parts in there which I really wish that they had shouted themselves out a little bit more across the album. It's a track on there too, one of the ones I like on there, in love with the streets, and it was kind of reminiscent of like a Chris and Neef track to me, like, you feel me. So I really did appreciate these little niggas going on there. Always good to hear DJ Drama talk on the track, Gangsta Grills like gangsta. So it's all good. It was dope. You feel me? My highlight points on there, I put Paulie and Vito, Valerie, In Love with the Streets, The Mob. So, all in all, it's rockable. I would like to see some more from them, but I want to ask y'all, who's the best lyricist out of this group that he's trying to push out there? Who would you really enjoy to hear more music from? That's really the question. So now let's get into the nitty gritty of it. You feel me? 38 Spesh, 6 Shots. Follow up to the self-produced 2019 release of 5 Shots. We know that he has been taking a back burner this year, lyrically, only popping up here and there, but he has been putting out so much work production-wise. He giving us Chez Noir's Juno, Martyr's Prayer, El Camino, Trust the Chain, Planet Asia, Army of Trust 2, the compilation off of the first one that came out last year, 1,000 Words, and as of recently, Ways and Means by Rashid Chappelle. So whenever 38 talk, you gotta listen. You feel me? And listen, we did like this project was, it was short and to the point. It's an EP, but you know it's so bar heavy in here. It's really bar. It's some real dope bars in here. All right, he has his intro track, then the showdown is giving us a little like a little insider into his like his personal life. He talking about his ex and his baby mom or this or that in there. I really did enjoy hearing that type of thing coming from him because we don't really hear him talk about that type of stuff too often. So I do appreciate that. One of my favorite tracks on here is Dirty Revolver. You feel me? All my crackheads related, cause my town little. Stay away from niggas who talk around pillows. Like who rhymes little and pillow, and the shit comes off right. So that was so dope. He has a track on here, Mind Over Matter, featuring Ransom. Always good to just hear Ransom coming out off of his project that he dropped this year. He has one of the most anticipated releases in the underground for directors scene 3 or cut 3 that's supposed to be happening to him with Nicholas Craven. Like dog, I really can't wait to hear that project. So always good to have him around and hear him whenever he decides to spit on anybody's joint. My favorite beat on this album is the track Overkill. So dope. 38 always just backing that up. He is nothing bad to say right there. When I first looked at this project, right, it's a track on 5 shots called Fifth Shot. So when I looked at the track listen on this, I was looking for a track called 6 Shot. I thought that would be just like, listen to me, or like the easy tie-in to tie these two projects together, you feel me, and make some cohesion there. But he didn't do that. He actually did that with a track called Flower City 2 featuring Eto, you feel me. It's always good to see Eto outside his element and know that he's around working. Like we just discussed his project that he just came out with. But I was looking for something called like 6 Shots along those lines to tie in this project to the first project. But no, he did that on Flower City 2. Him and Eto was on 5 Shots with Flower City. So that was really dope to see the tie-in tracks from project to project, because when you do something like this, you most definitely have to have that happen. Otherwise you're just naming shit and not really putting no substance behind it. After that, it was Carved Initials, you feel me, real stories, real events, real talk, you feel me. 38 is one of these most authentic artist that anytime he spit, he's telling you some shit. He's not like making up no shit. It's shit that he's actually honestly been through. That's why one of the reasons why we want him to win, because we know he has been through so much, you feel me. So it's a dope project, but it just left me wanting more from 38. Like I need to hear Sun rap some more, so give us some more, you feel me. Hey yo, now, I always got my ear to the streets, and I'm always trying to help new artists in the game on the come up. So I'm having an open invitation for another timeline cipher. This time, 38 is the artist behind the beats. He dropped a project called Special Blends. All right, this is a beat tape. All right, listen, pick a beat off of 38's Special Blends, all right? And we're going to do a timeline cipher with that. I'm having an open invitation. I'm going to remind a couple of y'all cats that I like, that I like, and they bring some fire into this. But anybody who's seeing this or anything like that, open invitation to spit over Special Blends. The link will be in the description. We all title based over here, so if you don't have title, try to find this project. I'm gonna just give y'all a little like wink on it. A couple songs I like on there. Business as Usual. The beat on that is sick. Section. The beat on that is sick. And like one of my personal favorites, A Few More Holes. All right, so here we back at it again. You feel me? Salt in the Game timeline cipher. 38. special blends. Let's get it. Let's get right and let's work. You feel me? Other than that, that's all. I'm gonna get out of here. I'm Madam Money. You can follow me on Twitter, I guess, right? At Madam Money Says, MADAMMONEYSAYS. Follow me on IG. You feel me? If we still trying to get everything on Twitter on the same page. And make sure you like, subscribe, and share the show. Especially to people you know that deal with me and that I deal with. If you share the show, they'll be able to find me, and then we'll be able to still keep this shit rocking. All right, but as always, I'll be seeing you guys around. Peace.
Who's better or great? I'm dissing the fate and serving the plates. The beast back, Bloodgate, she unleashed that. Ease back, you don't know where my peeps at. I keep that heat that'll light your soul up.